be worshipped, and about sharing that message with someone else. Sharing that message with someone else. Now, if I wanted to end here and say I've done my job, the Prophet ﷺ was qum fa'andir. He was someone who got up and warned people about Allah. I've done my job. And I think I could prove that we are not living the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ as we should be. Because there's too great of a population of Muslims in Britain for Britain not to be a better place because of us. This is a travesty that we have put forward, is that we've been living here for so long and Britain is not the most pristine country on the planet because of us. Astaghfirullah. May Allah forgive all of us. Because it was the status of the Prophet ﷺ, wherever he put his 2 feet, he made that place better. It was the status of the companions radiallahu anhum wa radahum, may Allah be pleased with every one of them, that wherever they planted their 2 feet, they made that place much better because of their presence. Now, I don't know if we have that same status anymore. Because if so, they wouldn't be trying to kick us out every day. They would be wanting and begging us not to leave them anymore. This was the status of the companions radiallahu anhum. Wherever they went, the people begged them to not leave us. Please don't leave us. After the Prophet ﷺ said these beautiful words of passing this message on to humanity, do you know how important this was to Allah? Do you know how important these words of conveying the message was to Allah? That the Prophet ﷺ raised his hands to the heavens and he said, "Oh Allah, bear witness. Oh Allah, bear witness. Oh Allah, bear witness. I have conveyed the message. I did my job. I'm done. I'm done." You know what Allah Azza wa Jalla responded by saying? Al-yawm akmaltu lakum deenukum. This day I have perfected your religion for you. I have completed my ni'mah upon you and have chosen for you Islam as your deen. Allah completed His final revelation to humanity. His final way of life to humanity. He completed His final way of life to humanity upon the statement of the Prophet ﷺ to continue to convey the message. Allah completed His deen on our shoulders. On the shoulders of this ummah, and we have dropped it by the wayside. Something that was placed on our shoulders as an izzah, we have placed it on the ground and we have picked up this dunya and we've placed that on our shoulders. That's why we are humiliated everywhere we go. Because we have left our source of honor behind us and have picked up that which will humiliate us. It will. This dunya does nothing but humiliate. It honors no one. We forget to understand that this dunya does not honor anyone. It only humiliates people. The only people whom it honors are people who put it in its proper place and they put deen on top of it. Then it will become honored. But when you give dunya a place of prominence in your life, it will humiliate you. It's guaranteed. There was a woman on that day whom put everything into perspective for us. And this is how we finish. Forgive me for going over for 5 minutes. She put everything into perspective for us. She said, she was crying. Her name was Ayman. Radiallahu anha wa raddaha. If you don't know about Ayman, you got to go way back in the seerah. She's the woman whom Amina, the mother of the Prophet, entrusted him to upon her demise. And she became his mother. If you want to know how a mother should be treated, look at how the Prophet ﷺ treated Ayman. He treated her like a mother. He called her Ummi, my mother, after my mother. She lived to see everything in his life, ﷺ. She lived to see him die and she cried. Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? But Abu Bakr and Umar came and said, "Ya Ayman, what the Prophet ﷺ has been given in death is better than what he had in life. He suffered so much for us, for us, for us. He didn't suffer for himself, ﷺ. He suffered for us and for them out there. He suffered for those people who don't know the truth." She said, "I'm not crying because of his death. I'm crying because the wahi from Allah has stopped. I'm crying because our Lord will not speak to us anymore. That the next time we hear from our Rabb will be the day we stand in front of Him." And Abu Bakr and Umar, they understood that. But they understood something about it that we've forgotten. They understood that yes, maybe Allah has stopped speaking to humanity. But that's only because He said everything He needed to say. It's collected for us. It's contained for us in the book of Allah and in the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. But we have to say one thing about them. Alhamdulillah, they're not like us. Alhamdulillah that the companions were not like us. Because if they did what we do, wallahi, if any of us would be Muslim. This is why if you abuse one single companion, one of them, if you abuse one of them, you have no deen. You have stepped completely out of Islam. Because it is because of them that you know deen. So how dare you say anything negative about any of these great men and women? They did their job and legacy is there. Their legacy is clear for all of us to see. They did their job. And people after them did their job so that we could be here today. What about the next generation? Who's doing the job for them? Who's doing the job for these ignorant people who don't know Allah? They don't know Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They're only feeding fuel to information what they've gotten from the shaitan and the media and everything else. No wonder they hate you, because they only hear negative of you, and you don't do anything to counterbalance that. You don't do anything to check it, and you don't even go out there and try to show them Islam through our actions, through our dealings, through our business, through our akhlaq, through our adab, everything. We need to wake up.